Poisoned at the grocery store, Part 6, Fats, Cooking Oil, Coffee, Tea, Beverages, Spices, and Condiments. Book link in comments below. Everywhere you look in the grocery store, you see oils and fats. They are not just in bottles of corn oil, canola oil, or vegetable oil, but hidden deep inside crackers, chips, bread, frozen pizza, and ready-made salads. Most people use these oils every day, not realizing they can harm the body in many ways. Modern cooking oils mostly come from seeds, not olives or coconuts. Many bottles start with industrial crops such as soybeans, canola, corn, sunflower, safflower, cottonseed, and grapeseed, often grown with intensive chemical inputs and, in the case of soy and corn, often from genetically engineered varieties. The seeds are crushed and typically extracted with solvents such as hexane to extract as much oil as possible. Hexane is a petroleum-derived chemical used as an industrial solvent. It is later removed by heating and steam, but trace residues can remain at low levels. The crude oil is then refined, bleached, and deodorized to remove color, flavor, and odors. This high-level processing strips out most natural compounds such as vitamin E and many antioxidants, leaving a nearly pure fat that bears little resemblance to the original seed. Oils that are cheap, clear, and almost flavorless have spent much of their life in refineries. The human body did not evolve on these highly refined, chemically treated fats, and diets very high in them are linked to fatty liver, insulin resistance, and metabolic problems, especially when packaged in ultra-processed foods. Our digestive enzymes can technically break them down. Still, when these oils dominate the diet and displace whole foods, many people develop sluggish digestion, chronic fatigue, and blood lipid problems over time. Hydrogenation is another factory trick. Liquid oils are partially hardened to make margarine, shortening, and some shelf-stable snack fats by reacting them with hydrogen at high temperature in the presence of metal catalysts. This process can create trans fats, which raise LDL cholesterol, lower HDL cholesterol, and increase inflammation, sharply elevating the risk of heart attack and stroke. Because of this, industrial trans fats have been banned or essentially eliminated in the European Union, Canada, and many other countries, and the U.S. has largely removed partially hydrogenated oils from the food supply. However, small amounts of trans fat can still appear from high heat processing or labeling loopholes. To get around trans fat bans, manufacturers increasingly turn to interesterified fats. These are made by rearranging fatty acids on the glycerol backbone using enzymes or chemical catalysts to create customized melting properties for spreads, frostings, and bakery fillings. Early research suggests some interesterified fats may worsen blood lipids, raise fasting blood sugar, and increase inflammatory markers compared with more natural fats, but long-term human data remain limited and not reassuring. Seed oils are naturally high in omega-6 fats, especially linoleic acid. Small amounts are essential, but modern diets in the United States and other industrial countries supply very high omega-6 intake and relatively little omega-3 from fish and certain plant foods. Estimates suggest many people now consume 10 to 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3, while traditional diets likely had ratios closer to 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. This skewed balance is associated with higher chronic inflammation and has been linked to heart disease, arthritis, obesity, diabetes, and some cancers in observational and mechanistic studies. Simply swapping animal fat for large amounts of refined seed oil does not reliably improve inflammation or cardiovascular outcomes and may worsen lipid and metabolic profiles when done in the context of ultra-processed diets. Heating these oils at high temperatures adds another layer of risk. Refined oils have specific smoke points, but even below the visible smoking point, they begin to oxidize and break down into reactive compounds. Deep frying and repeated heating of vegetable oils produce aldehydes and other oxidation products that can damage DNA and proteins, contribute to atherosclerosis, and may increase cancer risk. Restaurants and fast food outlets often reuse fryer oil for long periods, and the longer the oil is held at high heat, the more degradation products accumulate. Each batch of fries, nuggets, or onion rings carries not only fat, but a load of oxidized byproducts formed in the fryer. Frozen and processed fried foods are part of the same problem. Many pre-cooked fried items in the freezer case are cooked in large industrial fryers filled with refined oils that are reused over and over before the food is flash frozen and shipped. Consumers have no way to know how long that oil was used or how degraded it became during production. Refining and bleaching steps can also form contaminants, including 3-MCPD and glycidyl esters in certain refined oils, especially palm-based products. And these compounds have been linked to kidney toxicity and potential cancer risks in animal studies. Preservatives such as BHA, BHT, and TBHQ are commonly added to bottled oils, crackers, cereals, and chips to slow rancidity. These synthetic antioxidants help stop fats from oxidizing on the shelf. Still, BHA and BHT are considered possible carcinogens in some evaluations and have shown endocrine and allergy-related effects in animal studies. Several countries, including some in Europe and Japan, restrict or discourage their use, yet they remain permitted in many U.S. foods. TBHQ, another fat preservative, is also used in industrial products such as varnishes. High doses in animal studies have been linked to immune and neurobehavioral changes, though typical food exposures are lower. Light, air, and time further damage stored oils. Clear plastic bottles on warm, bright shelves allow light and oxygen to accelerate oxidation even before cooking begins. Rancid oil develops off flavors and odors and can cause nausea or digestive upset. However, even mildly oxidized oil that still tastes acceptable contains breakdown products that are stressful for the gut and liver to handle. Meanwhile, recent research has detected microplastic particles in many edible oils, likely leaching in from plastic packaging and processing equipment, adding another contaminant load. Our bodies can handle reasonable amounts of natural fats, but diets built on industrial oils and deep-fried foods strain digestion, bile production, and liver detoxification. Many people with high intakes of fried fast food and packaged snacks report chronic bloating, gallbladder trouble, unexplained abdominal pain, and persistent fatigue. Fat accumulation in the liver is now extremely common and is strongly associated with high intakes of refined fats and sugars together, the hallmark of modern processed diets. Deep-fried fast food is the disaster at the end of the oil pipeline. In many kitchens, oil is heated all day, cooled, filtered, and reheated, creating a stew of oxidized fats and frying byproducts. Neither straining nor topping up with fresh oil fully reverses this damage. Each order of fries, chicken pieces, or battered snacks absorbs some of this altered oil, delivering a mixture of unstable fats and aldehydes that no human cells can use constructively. Children and pregnant women are especially vulnerable because developing organs and brains are more sensitive to oxidative and endocrine disruption, and detoxification systems are not fully robust. Most ready-made salad dressings, mayonnaise, frozen meals, pizzas, box cakes, microwave dinners, and instant noodles rely on refined seed oils as major ingredients. Choosing gluten-free or even some organic processed products does not necessarily avoid these fats because they are used for texture and shelf stability across categories. Marketing terms like heart healthy are often applied to vegetable oils solely based on their cholesterol-lowering potential. Still, large reviews show that focusing solely on cholesterol while ignoring oxidation, ultra-processed foods, and overall diet patterns can be misleading, and replacing traditional foods with high omega-6 refined oils has not eliminated heart disease. What should you do instead? Traditional fats like butter, ghee, and extra virgin olive oil, used in moderate amounts, are generally easier to digest and bring natural antioxidants and fat-soluble nutrients. Avocado oil and coconut oil can also be reasonable options for many people when minimally processed. Whole foods such as fatty fish, nuts, seeds, and high-quality animal fats from well-raised animals provide more balanced fatty acid profiles and important fat-soluble vitamins rather than the stripped-down calories from refined seed oils. To cut risk, limit ultra-processed foods and focus on cooking at home. Buy smaller bottles of real, minimally refined oils you can use within a couple of months. Choose glass over plastic when possible, and store oils in dark, cool places. Cook at moderate temperatures. Use gentler methods like steaming, stewing, roasting, or baking instead of frequent deep frying, and be cautious with restaurant fried foods where the oil age is unknown. Labels that brag about being cholesterol-free or low in oil are often just marketing. Margarine and many spreads add industrial processing without proven health benefits. Watch for hidden oils in bars, granola, crackers, and microwave snacks, where ingredient lists often reveal multiple different seed oils used solely to extend shelf life. Human physiology did not develop on this tide of chemically processed oil, and the global rise in heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and fatty liver has tracked closely with the spread of ultra-processed, seed oil-heavy diets. Reducing these oils and choosing simpler, traditional fats can support almost every part of health. Many people notice less joint pain, steadier energy, better digestion, and improved blood markers after shifting away from industrial oils toward real, whole foods. Even a short trial of eating without most seed oils and deep-fried items can reveal how different the body feels. Once you see and feel the difference, choosing fats that nature made rather than those engineered by factories becomes much easier. Coffee, tea, and bottled drinks are everywhere in the grocery store. They fill aisles, coolers, and checkout shelves, and most of them contain far more than water, leaves, or beans. What you see on the label is only a small part of what is really inside. Most drinks start far away on coffee or tea plantations sprayed with pesticides, fungicides, and herbicides. Studies show that imported teas, especially from parts of China, India, and Southeast Asia, often carry measurable pesticide residues, sometimes above local limits. And many samples also contain detectable levels of heavy metals such as lead, arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. These metals accumulate from polluted soil, industrial runoff, and emissions from mines, smelters, and factories. They can build up in leaves and beans over the years, especially in regions with poor environmental controls. Heavy metals do not vanish when tea is brewed or coffee is instantized. Reviews of brewed teas have found that a large share of samples steeped for just a few minutes still contained enough lead to raise concern for pregnant women, and instant coffee products in some surveys contained cadmium, lead, nickel, zinc, chromium, and arsenic in more than half the brands tested, mycotoxins, toxic compounds made by molds that grow on damp or poorly stored beans and leaves, add another invisible risk, damaging cells, straining the liver and kidneys, and contributing to symptoms such as headaches, nausea, and brain fog. The risk is highest in humid climates, where storage and shipping conditions are harder to control. Water quality at the point of production matters too. In many developing regions, water used to wash, rinse, or brew teas and coffees can carry bacteria, parasites, industrial chemicals, or metals, and leaves or beans may take up some of these contaminants. Boiling kills many microbes but does not remove heavy metals, pesticide residues, or most chemical pollutants, so poor processing and weak safety testing can multiply the risks long before a drink reaches a bottle or bag. During processing, more chemicals are often added to the mix. Beans or leaves may be dried, smoked, artificially flavored, sprayed with preservatives, or fermented, all of which can increase mycotoxin levels if quality is poor. Single-serve plastic coffee pods have been shown to leach phthalates and other plasticizers into hot drinks. These chemicals can disrupt hormones and are not nutrients the body expects. Decaffeinated coffee usually requires solvents, and one common solvent, methylene chloride, is approved at low levels but is also classified as a probable carcinogen and a suspected reproductive toxin, making even trace contamination controversial. Roasting adds another layer. When coffee beans or cereal grains are roasted to medium or dark levels, they form acrylamide, a probable human carcinogen that has caused nerve and DNA damage in animal studies. Acrylamide arises whenever certain amino acids and sugars are heated to high temperatures, so brewed coffee, instant coffee, roasted grain beverages, and chicory blends all contain some amount, with darker roasts and instant products sometimes testing higher. Factory hygiene and cleaning practices can add yet more residues. Industrial beverage plants must sanitize tanks, pipes, and fillers, but cheap detergents, bleaches, and drying agents are not always fully rinsed away, especially in low-cost operations. Over time, plastic hoses, seals, and gaskets can shed microplastics and chemical additives into drinks, and flavor or color changes after long storage hint at oxidation and chemical breakdown inside the sealed bottle or can. Cross-contamination is common. The same lines often handle products with nuts, milk powder, soy, gluten grains, or other allergens, so people have suffered allergic reactions to pure herbal teas that actually carry traces of peanut or tree nut proteins. Bulk and cheap teas often contain more than leaves. Some blends include stems, dust, low-grade particles, or off-label plant material that would not qualify as food in stricter systems. And tests have found so-called herbal or slimming teas containing undeclared prescription drugs and stimulants. This means a person drinking what appears to be a natural detox tea could unknowingly ingest pharmaceutical agents that affect heart rate, blood pressure, or mood. Packaging introduces its own hazards. Many bottled drinks use PET plastic, which is rated for single cold use but can leach antimony, plasticizers, and other chemicals into the liquid, especially when bottles are stored in hot cars, bright sun, or warehouses without climate control. Acidic drinks such as soda, flavored waters, and bottled teas can pull more of these chemicals out of plastic and linings over time. Even BPA-free plastic bottles and can liners often use related bisphenols or epoxies that may have similar hormone-disrupting effects but have not been thoroughly tested. Aluminum cans rely on epoxy or similar linings to keep contents from corroding the metal. Over time, Acid and heat help these linings shed microscopic fragments and molecules into the drink, and products stored warm or for months at a time accumulate a greater chemical load. Shipping and storage make all of this worse because temperature swings and long warehouse stays accelerate the breakdown of plastics, sweeteners, flavors, and colorings in bottles and cans. To keep drinks shelf stable, bottlers and manufacturers add preservatives such as sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, and EDTA. Sodium benzoate can form small amounts of benzene, a known carcinogen, when combined with vitamin C under heat and light, and this has triggered recalls in the past. Potassium sorbate helps suppress mold and yeast, but can cause headaches, rashes, and stomach upset in sensitive people. EDTA acts as a chelator, binding metals and stabilizing color, but it can also interfere with the body's mineral balance and sometimes aggravate digestion. Cheaper teas, herbal blends, and bottled energy drinks from lower income countries often enter global markets with little independent testing. Each year, authorities recall imported beverages for banned pesticides, excessive heavy metals, or unapproved plant ingredients. And some detox teas and energy shots have caused poisoning, liver injury, or psychiatric symptoms because they contain potent unlisted herbs or drugs. No agency has the capacity to test every shipment of every drink, which means many products reach shelves essentially unexamined. Sugar and sweeteners are layered on top of all this. A single 16-ounce bottle of iced tea or soda typically contains around 40 grams of sugar or more, exceeding the daily added sugar limit recommended by many health agencies. Ready-to-drink coffees, cold brews, and energy teas often add high fructose corn syrup, sucralose, aspartame, or acesulfame potassium. High sugar intake is tightly tied to obesity, diabetes, fatty liver, and heart disease, while long-term data on artificial sweeteners link them to cardiovascular risk, disrupted gut bacteria, and higher rates of weight gain and metabolic syndrome despite their low calories. Large doses of caffeine plus sugar in children and teens raise blood pressure and stress hormones and have been associated with hospitalizations for heart rhythm problems, seizures, and acute mental health crises after energy drink binges. Chronic exposure to heavy metals and mycotoxins in tea and coffee can quietly damage health over the years. Studies have found that many brewed teas provide enough lead to exceed recommended limits in pregnancy if consumed daily. And early life exposure to cadmium, arsenic, and mercury has been linked to higher risks of developmental issues, learning problems, autoimmune disease, and some cancers. Mycotoxins often go unnoticed in taste, but may contribute to headaches, fatigue, mood changes, and flares of allergy or skin problems, particularly in children, people with asthma, and those using very cheap beans from humid regions. In the short term, many drinks contribute to headaches, insomnia, jitters, rapid heartbeat, stomach upset, and cravings. Long-term, regular consumption of ultra-processed, heavily sweetened, and flavored drinks raises the likelihood of diabetes, obesity, hypertension, kidney strain, cognitive decline, hormone imbalance, and a host of medical mystery symptoms that are hard to trace back to a single ingredient because they arise from a cocktail of dozens of chemicals, metals, and additives combined in the body over time. That cocktail effect is real and extremely difficult for science to fully measure because no study can test all the combinations people actually drink in real life. Ultra-processed beverages are marketed as wellness boosters, energy aids, focus enhancers, or calming tonics. Still, they often hide sedatives, stimulants, psychoactive herbs, or flavor chemicals that have never been thoroughly tested in humans, and some would not be legal if labeled accurately. Children, teens, pregnant women, older adults, and people with heart, metabolic, or immune problems face the highest risks because their systems are more sensitive or already stressed, so exposures that a healthy adult might tolerate for a while can trigger serious problems. For real health, the safest baseline is filtered or tested spring water. If you drink coffee or tea, it helps to choose products from reputable, single-origin growers that publish independent lab tests for metals, molds, and pesticides, and to prepare them at home in glass, ceramic, or stainless steel instead of plastic. Never microwave or heat drinks in plastic containers or bottles, and avoid or strictly limit bottled energy and wellness drinks, especially anything with proprietary blends or ingredient lists you cannot easily understand. Bargain, untraceable, or anonymous imported drinks may look like a deal, but they can cost far more in the long term for your health than they save at the checkout. The human body now faces risks from beverages that did not exist even a few generations ago. From contaminated soil and factory solvents to plastic leaching, unlisted herbs, and heavy metal residues, every sip is part of an ongoing experiment. Once you understand how modern drinks are made, choosing simpler options becomes less about fear and more about self-protection. Because in the world of today's beverages, ignorance is not bliss. It is a gamble with your health. Many readers have seen some of these chemical dangers before, but condiments and spice mixes are in a league of their own. These products stack one sneaky ingredient on top of another until the list is longer than a tax form. Most people grab a bottle of ranch or a taco mix thinking it adds flavor. In reality, each squirt or sprinkle unleashes a parade of additives. If one chemical worries you, wait until you see the full cast hiding behind sauce and seasoning. MSG is the world's most common flavor bomb, and it wears 1,000 disguises. Words like autolyzed yeast, hydrolyzed protein, yeast extract, natural flavors, and umami extract often signal added glutamates even when MSG is not listed outright. MSG and related boosters make bland food taste intense. Still, reports have linked them in some people to headaches, flushing, rapid heartbeat, and tingling sensations, sometimes called Chinese restaurant syndrome. In contrast, animal studies have linked high glutamate intake to obesity, hormone changes, and altered gut-brain signaling. These flavor boosters show up in far more than obvious Asian sauces or chips. Baby foods, frozen dinners, broth cubes, flavored rice packets, cheese puffs, and even some all-natural burgers and veggie patties rely on glutamate-rich ingredients to keep flavors strong. For some, food cravings drive them and override fullness signals, tricking the brain into wanting more. Experts still debate how often they cause clear symptoms, but analyses continue to find added glutamates in dozens of processed meals and snacks across the grocery store. If the color of your mustard, hot sauce, or taco sauce looks unnaturally bright, it may not be from peppers or turmeric alone. Synthetic dyes such as red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1 are widely used in condiments, salad dressings, relishes, pickles, jarred jalapenos, and seasoning packets, and titanium dioxide is used to make white, creamy sauces and ranch dressings appear perfectly opaque. European regulators require warnings or limits on several of these dyes because evidence suggests that some mixtures can worsen hyperactive behavior in susceptible children, and titanium dioxide has been restricted in foods in the European Union over concerns about possible DNA damage. Keeping sauces creamy and stable is an industrial art. Emulsifiers and stabilizers such as polysorbate 60 or 80, soy lecithin, guar gum, xanthan gum, methylcellulose, and cellulose gum help oil and water stay mixed, keep dressing smooth, and prevent separation. Experimental and animal studies suggest that some commonly used emulsifiers can disturb gut bacteria, thin the protective mucus layer, and promote low-grade inflammation. These changes may aggravate weight gain, food sensitivities, and bowel symptoms in people prone to IBS or inflammatory gut disease. Preservatives are the label anti-heroes. Sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate, EDTA, and BHA or BHT are commonly used on many dressing, sauce, and condiment shelves to keep products safe at room temperature. Sodium benzoate can react with vitamin C under heat and light to form small amounts of benzene, a known carcinogen which has triggered beverage and sauce recalls in the past. Potassium sorbate and benzoates can provoke headaches, hives, or asthma-like symptoms in some sensitive people. EDTA binds metals and stabilizes color, but may also bind minerals in the gut. At the same time, the BHA and BHT are synthetic antioxidants that some agencies classify as possible carcinogens based on long-term animal studies. Spice packets and cheap rubs carry their own tricks. Anti-caking agents such as silicon dioxide and calcium silicate are added to keep powders flowing, and maltodextrin, a refined starch, bulks up blends while spiking their glycemic impact. Investigations have uncovered imported spices adulterated with non-food fillers, including ground nut shells or even brick dust. In some cities, contaminated turmeric and chili powders have caused clusters of lead poisoning in children. Sugar, salt, and industrial fats hide in most sauces and seasoning kits. High fructose corn syrup or similar syrups sweeten many ketchups, barbecue sauces, and honey mustards, and a tablespoon or two can rival a cookie in sugar content. Ranch powder, honey mustard packets, and taco or fajita seasoning mixes often include added sugar, maltodextrin, or stealth sweeteners like stevia or monk fruit, which can be harsh on digestion for some people when combined with gums and fibers. Organic and natural claims do not automatically make condiments safe. Natural flavors is a legally vague term that can describe concentrates from almost any once-living source, including microbes, plants, or animal secretions that are heavily modified in labs before ending up in an authentic hot sauce or artisan dressing. Smoke flavor, essence, and aroma on labels usually mean engineered flavor chemicals, not simple spices or real smoking. Allergies and intolerance to complex flavor mixtures are hard to track because testing on these proprietary blends is rarely done. Global spice trade adds another layer. Investigations have repeatedly found turmeric, chili powders, and curry mixes tainted with lead chromate, illegal Sudan dyes, or other banned colorants, especially in low-cost imports. And baby food and rice products have been recalled after similar contamination. Counterfeit saffron and paprika have been found with textile dyes and non-food particles, and when one importer is shut down, the same product may reappear in new packaging under a new brand name. Label rules help hide this complexity. Words like maltodextrin, spices, seasoning, color, and natural flavors act as umbrella terms that can contain many sub-ingredients without being individually named. This allows a jar of salsa or a bottle of sauce to claim no artificial flavors or no artificial colors while still containing multiple highly processed components derived in labs. In general, the longer and vaguer the ingredient list, the less you can trust it to reflect a traditional recipe. Emulsifiers and stabilizers deserve special attention. Polysorbate 80, carrageenan, and cellulose gums have all been studied for their effects on the intestinal lining and microbes. Some animal models show that carrageenan can cause colitis, like inflammation and tumor promotion, and emulsifier mixtures can alter the microbiota in ways that promote metabolic syndrome and gut inflammation. People with IBS, Crohn's disease, or ulcerative colitis often report worse symptoms when eating heavily emulsified foods. Still, even people without diagnoses may notice bloating, gas, and fatigue after regular use. Next time you say just a little ketchup or just a drizzle of dressing, remember that many commercial brands carry more sugar and sodium per tablespoon than you might expect, plus dyes, gums, and preservatives in every squeeze. Ranch seasoning and dip mixes combine MSG-type flavor boosters, dairy powders, sugars, starches, and gums. Low-fat dressings often trade fat for sugar, thickeners, and fibers that do not necessarily improve health. A basic taco seasoning packet can easily list 20 or more ingredients, making one of the simplest home dishes one of the most chemically complex items in the cart. Science is starting to catch up with what clinicians have suspected. Diets heavy in ultra-processed sauces, seasonings, and condiments are associated with higher rates of allergies, hyperactivity in some children, anxiety, metabolic syndrome, hypertension, and autoimmune flares, and emulsifiers and certain dyes are now recognized as likely contributors to gut and behavior problems in susceptible people. Children are especially vulnerable to synthetic colors, preservatives, and emulsifiers because of their smaller bodies and developing brains and immune systems. Staying safer means learning to decode labels and simplify. If a bottle or packet lists more than a handful of ingredients, and most of them are not recognizable foods, putting it back is often wise. Making spice blends from whole seeds and simple dried herbs avoids anti-caking agents and hidden fillers, and homemade ranch or vinaigrette with real yogurt or olive oil, lemon, salt, and herbs can be prepared in minutes without gums, dyes, or MSG. Taco night really only needs cumin, paprika, or chili, garlic, onion, and salt, not maltodextrin, spice extractives, and flow agents. A practical tip is to read condiment labels out loud. If you sound like you are reciting a chemistry experiment, you probably are. Choosing clean brands with short, clear ingredient lists or assembling your own dressings and rubs in a jar shifts power back from factories to your kitchen. Seasonings, sauces, and condiments can absolutely enhance food, but they should be based on real ingredients, not a cocktail of unpronounceable compounds. For better health, fewer ingredients, less added color, and more home-cooked meals are the best seasonings you will find. This ends Part 6. Please go to Part 7. Book link below. Please share, like, and subscribe.